Hello everybody, Chris Egan Green here, and with 3 months to go. So it's now, where are we at? It's 9:49 in the morning on December the 29th, 2021, and the campaign's now standing at £15,380.79. I mean, where the hell's that come from? So this means really that thanks to all of your great generosity, we're finally able to confirm at least 5 of the 9 films that we had projected to undertake during our big tour of the USA in 2022. So it's not just the J&L Porters, Mount Washington Cogfleet and the main Fawneys, but it's also the D&RG Mikados in Colorado and the classic American 440s. So that's great. You know, to all of you who's contributed to the campaign and to all of you who's helped us share word about the campaign, just thank you. You know, really thank you very much. It's words just can't describe how thrilled I am, but thank you. I'd like to give a big shout out in particular to the guys over at Dynamo Productions and to the Youngstown Steel Heritage Centre, who contributed in their own way big lump sums towards this project. So both of you really, thank you. But as has been stated before, I'm sorry to say, it's not over yet. We've still got 15,000 to raise in just over 3 months, and you know, there's still 4 films to raise finance for. There's the Shays, the Big Boys, the Berkshires, and Sierra Railway number 3. And if we manage to reach more than £30,000, who knows, we may be able to cover more than that. Okay, so I thought I'd give this opportunity to answer a couple of questions that people have been asking me during the campaign, but I've been sort of putting off because they just kept slipping my mind. Sorry about that. One of them is, would I consider doing fan meetups at places like Youngstown Steel or Wiscasset and so on? The answer is, I'm not going to rule them out, but at this point in time, I don't know when I'm going to be at each location specifically. I've got a basic idea about where I need to go to undertake all the filming that I need to do, but at this point in time, I don't know when specifically I'm going to be at each place. So who knows at this point? Maybe Youngstown Steel or Wiscasset, Waterville and Farmington may be willing to do something in conjunction with me, but I don't know where I'm going to be specifically within a few weeks or even a few days' notice in some cases. And it also depends on demand, because you know, I don't think a railway's going to want to hold an event and then only 3 people turn up. Because, let's face it, I'm not that famous at the end of the day. So, TLDR, I'm not going to rule out fan meetups if that's what people would really like me to undertake. But I don't know within a few weeks or a few days' notice if or when they're going to happen, or where. So, try not to hold your breath if you can. Another question that people have been asking me is, if for whatever reason we don't reach the £30,000 goal and I don't get to undertake all of the films that I would like to make in this trip, would I consider going back for part 2 at some point in the future? Not necessarily rule it out, but there may be other things that come up before then. See, fans around the world have been calling for me to review Locos in their countries like Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa. Poland have been asking me to go back and do more. Germany would like another trip. So it may be that I end up going to other countries before I go back to the States, if I go back at all. And even if we get to go back to the States, maybe we won't get to do all of the stuff that we initially set out to do. For instance, Union Pacific seems to be running the Big Boy, number 4014, on a sort of year-by-year basis. They didn't announce their 2021 Steam programme until about May, and then they set out in July or August or thereabouts. So it's hard to say at this point if we'll get to do everything that we initially set out to do if we do manage to go back. And in a few years' time, who knows, maybe I would have got fed up with doing Steam Locos in profile and decide to do something else with my life. It's just hard to say at this point. So what I would say is, if you really would like me to review the Big Boys, the Shays, Sierra 3 and anything else that we manage to do if we get more than £30,000, this is your chance. Treat this like your one and only opportunity. Don't necessarily assume that I'll get to come back and try again for a part 2. I know that sounds harsh, I know that's not what some of you may want to hear, but I'm just trying to think realistically here. I think having lived through the last 18 months to 2 years or so, the last thing that any one of us needs right now is things just going wrong at the last minute beyond our control. Another question that people asked me last time around was about the Reading T1s. Would I ever get round to doing them? I have been in further talks with one of the guys who's been trying to rally together interest in trying to finance a film on them, but he was telling me that while there are individuals who are interested in contributing to the campaign, there isn't necessarily enough to contribute a full 5 grand lump sum that we would need in order to undertake filming them. So at this point in time, if you really want a film about the Reading T1s, then the thing to do is to bump this campaign above £30,000, because that realistically is the only way that this is going to happen. Reading Northern's not going to fork out another 5 grand on its own for this, so there isn't really much an alternative, I'm afraid. Again, sorry that's harsh, pessimistic, doom and gloom, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. So there we are. Before we wrap this up, guys, I'd just like to say once again, thank you to everyone who's given to the campaign so far. If you have any more to give and you'd like to bump this up to £20,000 so we can review the Shays, or £30,000 so we can do the Big Boys, Berkshires and Sierra No. 3 and much more besides if we get above 30 grand, then I would greatly appreciate if you're still able to give more. But if you are unable to give more, and I appreciate a lot of you would be feeling really maxed out by this point, then what I would really appreciate is if you're able to at least share with people who are willing to give, who are able to give, and would like to see this come to full fruition. It only leaves me to say I hope you all had a happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, cold gift giving time, mass turkey eating day, whatever holiday you celebrate this year, and I hope that you all have a very happy 2022. Because it certainly can't be much worse than 2021 or 2020. And there we have it. Please do keep giving what you can. Thank you again for all your support, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves.